go. All right, it's the ID84 show live here, episode 195. As always, Adam the Mallet to the left of me.
What's up?
And we have a special guest tonight, all the way from London. Or I don't know if it's London per se, but I know it's England or Great Britain or the UK or wherever they say out there. We have Lar X joining us, musician Lar X. And that will be at 8:15ish. So stick around for that. That should be interesting.
Yeah.
I hope he has a British accent. That'd be cool.
That'd be pretty cool.
Imagine if he doesn't. That'd be really odd.
Yeah, that'd be weird.
Well, he could be like that guy we had on who, God, his name's escaping me.
They all do.
Mr. Kowalski, the guy from Costa Rica, but he was in France when he was doing the interview and all that good stuff, you know.
I think we botched Eric's daughter's name last week too. You said one thing, and then after we did the broadcast, I was like, I think it's actually Tracy.
Tracy, yeah, that's what I said. Tracy.
Did you say Tracy? I don't think you did.
Yeah. Yeah, it's Tracy and Kayla. Those are his two daughters.
Okay.
Yeah. The other girl, though, I didn't know her name. I forgot her name. I might have botched her name. But yeah, it's last week we had former co-host Eric Powers' daughter on, who is way more funny than former co-host Eric Powers. So
she seems like a little rough around the edges. Like she can kick someone's ass.
Kick your ass, yeah.
Yeah.
I get that impression. The Midwest attitude.
Yeah, she seems like she doesn't take much humor. She seems like one of those comedians that like can't take a shot. Like she could probably dish it really funny, but if you threw it back at her, she'd probably take it too seriously. She just comes off that way to me. I don't know. I could be wrong.
Oh, like her father?
That's kind of what I was alluding to.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see that. Very much so. No hiding that one.
Yeah.
I think you got angry at me today because I was on a roll this morning. It's all old stuff from the beginning. It started at my commute, and there was a guy on the Tobin Bridge, which is US 1, which is a highway, which is a bridge that was designed to actually be I-95 on the original plan. So it is not a pedestrian-friendly structure, if you will.
Yeah. And
there's 3 lanes on the top and 3 lanes on the bottom. And on the right-hand side on that one, it's a bus-only lane. That's the stupidest thing ever because I guess it's to get people into the city faster. That makes no sense at all. But people always drive their cars in it anyways. It doesn't really matter. But I'm about halfway over the bridge, and there is a Brazilian-looking dude on one of those electric scooters, like the ones like the no, what the hell are they called? You know what I'm talking about? Like every city has them. And you pay like the little thing and you go and you can use them for hours.
Oh yeah, I forget.
You could buy them too. I mean, they're like $400. They fold up and stuff like that. But they're basically a battery powered scooter that at top speed probably goes maybe 15 miles per hour tops.
Yeah.
Now we're talking about a bridge that goes roughly a couple hundred feet up in the air. So if this guy started at sea level, he would have to go up the incline about a couple hundred feet. So you're not going 15 miles per hour. You're at max. You're really putting around.
Yeah.
I almost lost. I couldn't believe my eyes when I seen this. I was driving. I go, is this really a guy on a scooter?
Yeah. Nothing shocks me anymore. But you had the video, which was hilarious.
Well, yeah, because I seen him so far ahead, and I go, that can't be right. And I always keep my phone on my dash, and then, like the way it's set up, I could just hit record if I needed to for any reason. So I did that, and I was like, let me see. I got to document this because no one's going to believe me. And there, sure enough, there he was. And I looked at him, and he looked at me, and I kind of turned my head. And that's when I was like, a guy on the scooter.
A scooter?
And like, yeah, everyone's making fun of my voice, my accent. They said I said
scooter.
But it was funny because it's like literally maybe a quarter of a mile that he really had to travel. But still, it's fucking ridiculous. So that started my day. So I told that joke. And then obviously Mr. Ron McDonald. Yeah, Ronald McDonald. McDonald's guy died. Noah McDonald, comedian, died yesterday from I guess 9 years of fighting cancer that no one knew about except for his like family, I guess. Yeah, and it was sad. So Eric Danger. So I guess apparently Noah was supposed to be performing at either Foxwoods or Mohegan Sun sometime in October. So I made a little funny and said, hey, Eric, look, there might be an opening on October 9th, meaning that Noah McDonald, Noah McDonald is not going to perform, was supposed to perform. And he goes, hilarious. Well, it just so happened that there's a comedian whose last name is Hilarious, which I don't know if that's really her last name, is performing the next week. And I go, no, Hilarious is still on schedule to perform. I go, I'm talking about Norm. And then he goes online and he posts something about he misspelled Comedy Central, which I just love. And because I typically am a terrible speller, and I am no person to be ripping on people for their shitty spelling ability, but I know that he goes out of his way to do stuff like that. So I just made it funny. And I go, I didn't know Comfy Central really exists. And I think he fixed what his typo was.
Yeah, you would tell him.
Deleting my comment. So,
what an ass! You should have left it. What the fuck? I mean. So yeah, I've been following this story right now, and it's weird when things like this happen. I kind of always follow. What?
Gabby Pachito?
Yeah.
Ooh, I was going to talk about it. I was going to talk about that too.
How did you fucking know I was looking at that?
I went to high school for.
No, you didn't.
Yeah, we actually had an intimate moment back in 2006.
Cute girl, but she's only 22. So, and how old was she then, Artie? Just back yourself into a corner there.
I was breaking the law. She she's 22 now. 2006 would have been 16 years ago.
Yeah.
So ooh, God, 4.
Oh, you gross motherfucker.
5, 6. So yes, I made that up. Well, I think she's a wannabe YouTuber because I checked out her Instagram.
I mean, I wouldn't say wannabe. She has a joint account with her boy. I'm watching her YouTube video right now.
Yeah, I think what basically she wanted to do is like those traveling guys that I follow.
Yeah, she's gone missing. The boyfriend, it sounds to me like they got into an argument and he just fucking got up and left her there in the middle of the fucking wilderness, and no one has seen her since. That's what it kind of sounds like on the surface. I don't know if maybe there was violence and he killed her and then he left, but it has the hint of that they got into a fight and he fucking left her there in the middle of the goddamn woods. And I don't care how much we've all thought about leaving significant others in places in arguments, but doing something like that is fucking horrible. Yeah. And he's like obstructed the police, like not wanting to tell them anything.
He's not obstructing the police technically. He did get a lawyer. He's protecting his Fifth Amendment right of.
Yeah, but he wouldn't tell the police the last place that he saw her, or was that he wouldn't say anything.
His lawyer probably doesn't want him to incriminate himself in any way, because if he gives a little bit of information, that's enough for a prosecutor to be able to manipulate something to be able to. He's smart not talking. So
but does that mean we should assume she's dead then? Because if she's alive and he's withholding that now, that's pretty fucking bad.
I feel like here's the thing. I feel like if it was a factual 100% that if she was alive, I feel like he just would have been like, yeah, she's alive. I texted her. Here she is. Go talk to her. But I don't think she's alive. I don't even think she's alive, or the fact that no one knows for sure if she's alive. So I think what happened was because apparently, I don't know how much you read into it, but there was something that was going on that the police had to show up like a couple days prior to
a domestic possible issue. Someone else reported it.
Yeah, right. But there wasn't enough evidence to prove it. I mean, that could have just been an argument for that.
Yeah, it could have been. Right? Yeah.
And it was weird because it was her van that he ended up taking. It wasn't his van. It was her van. I guess it was all in her name. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so if they did get into an argument or domestic, it'd be weird that he would take her vehicle. I think if it was that case, I think I would have just left and walked them off. I think they were either having some rough, kind of wild, like weird sex or something like that, and she died, or they got into a domestic and something happened accidentally where maybe she fell off. Maybe they were having an argument and she like backed off too far and like she fell off a cliff or something like that.
Yeah.
Because if it was something like they went for a hike, or it was something like they went for something, or they slept and she woke up, I think most people would be like, holy shit. And if he wanted to break up with her, that's a perfect getaway. I mean, yeah, we were going for a hike and all of a sudden she died. But like the fact that there is suspicion, because I feel so weird. Like it's feel weird. Like, I mean, it's odd that you think maybe he just wanted to murder her. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe they got in a fight. Maybe they fight all the time, and this time he hit her too hard or something. And
there's definitely some kind of. I think we can both at least agree that some type of argument ensued.
Yeah.
That caused something else. Whether it's him just saying "fuck this" and leaving, and then leaving her fucking stranded there, And it does sound to me like an impulse thing. Like if you don't just take someone's vehicle and then just go home and not expect people to ask questions, right? Like, so it seems like he was in an impulse for whatever reason, left, and then it's like maybe he got shit. I can't believe I just fucking did that. Well, I did that. Now I have to commit to that. You know?
I mean, that's a big commitment, though. Not turning around and going back. I guess we don't know that, though, right?
Yeah, it's still fucked up, though. Unless you knew she was dead. But then again, why wouldn't your first stop be to the police station? It'd be like, this happened. Yeah. So that way you can at least look more innocent instead of just not saying anything.
Maybe she's trying to kill him.
I don't know.
Maybe self-defense.
Cute girl, though. Really cute girl.
Yeah, I mean, she has fucking. I mean, she's probably crazy. We all could do the math right there, right?
Yeah, probably.
The guy seemed a little weird too. I don't know. There's something fishy about it. That the fact of the matter is that he didn't. If it was something as accidental, or I mean, or it could have been accidental, maybe just panicked. I mean, that could happen too, you know. But he made it all the way back to Florida.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's weird though, because like I said, like this video was posted like not that long, you know, within a month of, you know, her disappear. It's just weird watching moments like these. Like you see these people and not think they're going to be gone off the earth within like a short amount of time. It's just bizarre to me.
Well, how about me when I do the videos for the Wicked Explorers? We have videos. We have videos backed up to January. I could die tomorrow, and you'd see me every week, brand new video.
Yeah, but that's also kind of funny too, because we could be talking about like opening day for the Patriots when that happened, like, you know, like 2 months ago.
I'm dead. You know, anything could happen. Yeah, it's kind of creepy. I don't know if you have been following the lawyer in South Carolina, that story?
No, what's that one?
So there's this lawyer who was from this like family law firm, I think, you know, really well-off guy, and his son was in a drunk driving boat accident and killed a girl. So his son was going to be facing charges for DUIs, and then like a couple of weeks later, he shows up home and his wife and that son is shot, killed in the backyard of their house. And then a couple of weeks ago, he was changing a tire and someone came by and tried to shoot him in the head, and they missed. They injured him and he was all right. And then comes out yesterday that he actually paid for the person to try to kill him. It was an ex-client of his to take him out so he could leave money for his other son for his life insurance. But prior to this, he got fired about a week ago from his family law firm for embezzling money.
Oh shit.
Yeah, it's a lot of so the cops are so like confused. It's out of South Carolina. If you type in predominant South Carolina lawyer, fakes his own, tries to get himself death, or son kills someone in a boat accident. It's Murdoff, something like that. That's the last name. But so people don't know if the son and wife were murdered by a revenge. They were a little odd why the husband would try to get himself killed. He hired a hitman to kill him. That was an ex-client. And
I'm going to look this up. That's interesting.
There's so many weird pieces to the story that no one can figure out. And like the girl that died, it was like, it would be weird if it was a revenge thing, because there's no links to, there's no suspects thinking that I have a feeling he was just a shitty person. And he burned a lot of fucking bridges. And someone was out to, they wanted to give a message. So they killed the wife and the kid. Or they're even thinking he maybe killed the wife and the kid.
Yeah.
He was the one that discovered him.
More often than not, it's usually the boyfriend or husband or somebody.
Yeah, someone that's usually close. It's usually not a random act of violence.
Yeah.
When it comes to it. But, you know, just like Michael Jordan's father. You're telling me that was a random robbery at a rest area that was 10 minutes from their house?
Yeah, exactly. And it's not like they were in the city with a million people. It was more of like a rural area where that happened, right?
It was a rest area off 95 that I've driven by 1,000 times, and I think it's in Cumberland, North Carolina, and it's at night. There's no one there. There's no reason to pull over. Allegedly, he pulled over to take a nap, but there would not be anyone really there to rob someone. And if they did, they wouldn't know it was Michael Jordan's father, unless they were following him. But I think everyone pretty much can sum that up. That was maybe a revenge kill for Michael Jordan not liking to pay his bookies.
Who knows?
Even when he lost.
Yeah.
Which is a fucked up thing, because if you have all that money and you're betting, don't you just pay your bookies off?
Well, who knows? I don't know much about his dad. Did his dad have his own problems with drugs or gambling too? I don't know.
Had a little bit of a gambling problem as well too.
It could be that also.
Yeah. And that was the whole when he was that led to the whole Michael Jordan retiring from basketball, so he doesn't because he wanted to play baseball.
I got a good one for you. So I guess in California, this piece of shit, you might have heard me bitching about this the other day. This college professor in California was setting wildfires in California. And we know how the fires in California are always a problem. And this guy was fucking setting them.
Nice.
Yeah, a fucking professor, right? Yeah. And he only got caught because his own car, he was trying to get his car out of the woods because it got caught in some of the flames that he set.
Fucking retard. What the fuck is wrong with people? Yeah, I'm sure he was. And what was his reasoning for the fucking fire setting?
No, there's no set of comments. It's just that based on the, I guess like his car was sitting in the area and like they were able to get the plate. They didn't catch him right there and there. He was just kind of like a suspect and they traced it back with the tires and all that shit.
Trying to blame it on Trump. He's like, Trump's setting the fires, so I'm going to do the fires myself. Yeah. California people, I'm sorry. So California just had that recall election.
But he was trying to trap firefighters. That's what he was trying to do.
Fucking asshole. So basically, he's a murderer, essentially. He's a second-degree murderer.
Yeah.
I mean, you can even say that's first degree because he had some content there. He wanted to kill and trap firefighters.
He said he went on a spree of setting fires in July and August and who sought to trap fire crews with his fires. That's fucked.
That's fucked. That's as bad as people calling 911 saying there's a fire in the house and the firefighters show up and they shoot them. Like that happens occasionally, yeah.
Well, there is like a sickness, they say, where like people, like even firefighters, like they will set fires purposely to then go like put them out. Like
it's a hero syndrome. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's like this weird psychological sickness. You know?
This seems like it's more of like a homicidal thing right here. Like he wants to like kill people and hurt people.
Yeah, it sucks.
And that's because California doesn't have mental institutions because they've let all the mental people out in the street. Call it what you want to call it, but a mental institution is a place where people who are cuckoo can go there and get the help they need and not be homeless on the streets roaming around. Like I told you that time that me and Eric walked back from the friggin' Red Sox game and I was on friggin' Boylston Street and some crazy black guy jumped out and he was just waving his arms in his hand. I didn't know he had a knife, and I literally jumped into traffic to get away from this guy on a street. It was on Tremont Street on a street that I'd walked a million times without any incidents my entire life growing up in the city. And that one night there was no one there, and I was actually scared. So
I don't blame you. Yeah.
But this particular person has a mental illness. Here's the thing: if you call it what it is, but if you're homeless, I believe that you have some kind of mental illness because there is no reason one has to be homeless. There is so many. You could go on welfare. You could get
or drug addiction.
That's or drug addiction. But even if you have a drug addiction, you could still have shelter, right? You still the state could still put you up.
I would like to think.
You would think there's still to be able to have to live in a box on a side of a road or a makeshift tent is, I think it's not so much. I think it's more of a choice than anything else because you could just go. I mean, you go to shelter, but there's something you can do. As a sane person,
I would hope. Yeah.
But if you can't figure that out, then there's something cuckoo in you. You know what I mean? You need help. You need someone to help and bring you in the right direction so you don't have to do it.
Yeah.
I mean, and it could be a drug-induced kind of craziness, right? You do enough drugs, you go a little crazy, right? A lot of these people, you would assume that, especially on Methadone Mile in Boston or Skid Row in LA, right?
Yeah, they all have them. They're all getting bigger too because of the dispersive wealth.
It's ridiculous. And Austin has the same problem too. And it's the thing, it's like, well, it sucks to kick homeless people. I know of a poor guy sleeping on a bench or something, or he's in an alleyway, something like that. He's minding his own business. Yeah, it sucks to kind of like, hey, you got to get out of here type of thing. But like, it shouldn't be that way. It should be, hey, get out of here, but here's your option. Come down to the shelter. We'll put you up for the night, But it's not so much that. It's like you got to you can only lead the horse to the water, but you can't teach him how to drink. So you got to you can bring him somewhere to be protected or whatever, or have a shoe, whatever. Yeah. But you can't I don't know, we have homeless people staying at the hotel at the bar I work at, and some shelter is paying the tab, right? Mm. But it's like, but it doesn't seem like they have any initiative to not be in that situation, right? It's like,
yeah, it's true.
I don't know.
I would be curious to live like one of the mole people in the New York City underground subways, like those old tracks, just for a day.
God, they hit by trains. I think I read a statistic that 1 or 2 die a day from getting hit by a train or something like that.
It's crazy. Yeah.
But there's so many of them.
They say there's like possibly like underground cities because of all these old railway stations.
Abandoned tunnels. Probably every street in New York City has an abandoned tunnel on it that they don't use anymore. Yeah. And yeah, there's people living on the there. And it's dark, it's dreary, there's rats, there's rodents, there's crime, there's this disgusting. I mean, I can imagine how many died when the floods happened a couple of weeks ago when Hurricane Ida hit and flooded all the subways, right?
Oh shit, yeah, it's true. Yeah.
But I really have to reach deep and to figure out how bad of a fuck. I mean, we all fucked up, but like, how bad do you really have to fuck up to be living on the street? Like, that means you burnt every bridge, right? You couldn't find one friend or one family member to take you in.
It's sad, man.
You know, it is sad. It's really sad. Just think about what would it take for you to be homeless, right? You would have to go through. You'd go through your parents, right? Once you go through that, you go through your brother, then you go through friends, right? Then you go through, acquaintances. You would have to go really, really deep down the line of fucking people over before you had to. The last situation was to sleep on a bench, right?
Yeah, you're like number 5 for me. You're like number 4 or 5.
I feel like the DiMatteo household is number 5 on a lot of people's list. I think we've had a transit. You're actually one of the only friends who hasn't lived with Sue and I. So
that's true. I'm due. Don't say that. Oh fuck. Fucking wood. It never happens.
We've been to spare bedroom before, We've had Joey. We've had Eric.
Yeah.
It's but at least there's a place. You can like at least last case scenario, right?
The office couch.
Office couch. I mean, we could sleep in our office. I mean, there's no reason you couldn't sleep in our office, right?
It's true. There's just no shower, but that's okay. There's still a toilet and there's a fridge.
Oh, you go to Planet Fitness, right? You pay $5 a month. Yeah. You go down the street every day. You sleep on the couch. You wake up, go to Planet Fitness. You take a shower. You do what you got to do, and you leave. You come back to the office, and you kill time all day. I mean, how many times have we and you showed up to the office at 2, 3 in the morning, like after a night of drinking or going somewhere, and we just hung out there for a little while and left? You know what I mean? So
it's happened a couple times. It probably happened a couple more too.
Yeah. So it's always a possibility to do something of that nature. I mean, who knows? But but that would imply that you still have a job, though. You know what I mean?
That's true. Yeah.
Which is a good thing.
Well, I'd still have the key.
Don't come in. It's weird. Like every night, because I'm usually the first one in the office. I'll come in. I'm like, that vase is oddly out of place. It seems like someone was here last night. I wonder. I don't think much of it.
I do that now. Like, why are we on this radio station?
Well, I did tell you about the time when I was working for the last company and I was doing a site visit. And I got there really, really early in the morning, and let's see. Let me cut this over here. Looks like a buddy is in the waiting room, so we'll bring him in a few minutes.
Oh, nice, yeah.
I was at a construction site, and I got there wicked early, and I opened the front door through the code, and I could hear someone run out the back door, and then I got into the building, and I looked, and the back door was open, and so someone was sleeping there that night. So, I mean, just think about all the jobs that I do. They give me the passcode to go and do the surveys. Like, when no one's there, I could just bring you could bring bitches back there to bang them. You could rugs there. You could have a potty there. Like, I mean, as long as you're in and out, no one really knows,
That's very true, my friend.
Possibilities limitless. All right, let's see. So Law X is in the waiting room. Let's bring him in right here. Bring him in all the way from Europe. It's our second European guest. See, we connected. King Law. Sounds like a law firm. King Law.
Yo.
What's up?
Hey, what's going on, man?
In the house. How you doing, brother?
Thanks for having me. How y'all doing?
Good. And where you joining us from? You're in England?
I'm in UK. Yeah, I'm in South London right now. So right now it's 1:30 in the morning. So that's why I'm late. You know what I mean?
All right.
It's all good.
You know what I mean? I'm on demon time right now, but I'm here.
Oh. Sweet. You got a fan club? Is it possible?
I know what's going on back there.
Yeah, I
want to say hello.
What's going on?
What up, guys?
Hey. Hey, guys.
Hey.
Well, I'm on my very own demon time too, so. Oh my God. Howdy.
Yeah, 1 o'clock in the morning type of vibe, you know what I'm saying? It's 8 o'clock over there, huh? So y'all not on demon time just yet, huh?
That's you know, it's funny. When I was over in Europe, the best thing was like it could be like 2 o'clock, 1 o'clock in the morning, and it's like regular. It's like 7, 8 o'clock over here. So you can watch like the NBA and like stuff like that are on late, and like after you get home from like the club and the bar and stuff like that, and you're ready to go. You know, so you can just hang out and call it a night.
Indeed, for sure. Keep the party going.
So you were born in London, but you were raised in Virginia, and then went back to London. Is that
it wasn't that easy. It wasn't that quick, you know what I mean? But yeah, I was raised in Portsmouth, Virginia. Then I went to Atlanta for a little while, and then I went back to Virginia. Then I came to California, and then I came to London. You know, so yeah, just moving around a little bit.
I was gonna say you don't have like a London accent. You don't have like that British twang to you, you know?
Not yet. I'm trying to work on that though, so I can get up in one of these British TV shows or something.
There you go.
Yeah. I wouldn't want that too much though, because then you might start to sound like pretentious, you know, like one of those like snooty Brits.
When I just go when you can turn it on and off, that's it. You know what I mean?
Hey, at least it's better than the Boston accent. No one can understand what you're saying.
That's true.
So how's everything down over in London? You guys still locked down over there, or is everything pretty much open, ready, and free flowing?
I mean, it's pretty much free flowing right now, but London is a real crowded place, so it's probably going to shut back down again with all these variants. They got the variants come out like mixtapes out here, you know what I'm saying? So it'll probably shut back down, especially for the winter. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know. It sucks. It's because it's like you just when you get like a sign of like hope that everything's gonna be all right, all of a sudden it's like, yeah, we're gonna shut you guys down again. That's where you gotta come to the state. Go down south. Florida, Texas, South Carolina, they're all open for business.
They don't care, huh?
They don't care. Nope.
How often do you come back to the US?
Really not often enough. Really, I just come back whenever I have an opportunity. If I'm out there, you know what I mean, for business or something, then I'll come out there. But other than that, I just kind of stay put and just do what I'm doing out here.
Yeah. I don't blame you.
How long have you been out there? It was like for once you moved back there, how long has it been?
I'm gonna have to lie to you because you know what I'm saying. I got other things going on. I don't really like giving like when I came, when I left.
Oh no,
like,
yeah,
I understand.
Yeah, no,
right.
I'm not trying to incriminate you.
But it been a little while, you know what I'm saying? Just back and forth. Just, you know what I mean?
Hey, that is fine. We'll leave it at that. It's like
yeah. Right. You know what I mean?
So our buddy Ryan hooked us up with you, who's an old co-host of us back in the. How you know Ryan?
Oh, Ryan was in one of my web series that I did. It's called When Day Gets Dark. Yeah, he's one of the actors in my web series.
Okay. And what was that? So give us a little like summary of the web series. What was that like?
So basically a crime drama. It's me in the streets going through a bunch of hell, but trying to, you know what I mean, getting in trouble, digging my way out, finding myself in more trouble type of thing. You know what I mean? So it's a crime drama. It's a street drama. If you want to compare it to something, it'd probably be like The Wire or even Power. Where it's
nice.
You know what I mean, where you have like you see your cop side of things, but then you also see the street side of things. You know what I mean? So yeah, he was in that. I didn't know that he was a co-host on this show though. He just referred me to you guys. I didn't know he was a co-host though. So that's new information to me. That's cool though.
Yeah, I think we met him on Craigslist. Is that where we met him?
Yeah.
Years ago.
We did.
Yeah, and then we brought him on, and we're like, because during the pandemic, we started doing it. We used to do the show live from a studio, and we were like, all right, we'll bring it on. And Ryan was, I was writing for I was running this website called The Packy, and he was writing, throwing some articles on there too. So we got, why don't you come on and join us one night? And then we kind of, for like a year straight, we was just kind of hanging out every Wednesday night, just shooting the shit. You know what I mean? So.
Yeah, he's a good writer though. The reason why I did the interview because he did a write-up on my album, Love Drug Volume 1 and Volume 2. He did a real dope write-up on that. So, and he wanted to do an interview too. So I was like, yeah, let's do that because he did a good job. You feel me? So
yeah,
you know what I mean.
So we can get your stuff. I'm looking at your website right now. So you get Apple Music, Spotify, YouTube, Amazon. You pretty much get anywhere, right?
Yeah, anywhere at this point. Yep.
And which
Love Drug album.
Did you just drop a new album or are you working on one right now?
Love Drug Volume 1 and Volume 2. I dropped it on my birthday, actually, August 28th. You know what I mean? It's an emo rap album.
Nice.
Yeah.
I like how you have Napster. Is Napster still around?
Oh
I
wow.
don't really use Napster. I don't know, possibly. I just send it off on DistroKid. DistroKid send it to everybody. The bootlegger got it. Your sister got it. Everybody got it. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I mean, Napster might be on the list. I don't know. Just go wherever they send it to.
Yeah, that was funny because I'm browsing through it. I see Napster. I was like, oh, I'm like, is that? I guess so. It looks like it's like Napster looks like it's all like legit now. It's not like it used to be back when we were kids. You know what I mean? Where you could just go on there and just download all the shit you wanted.
Yeah, indeed.
What kind of differences do you see between the music industry, how it's handled in the UK and how it's handled here? Is there any big differences?
I mean, well, it's definitely a difference, but like I was just telling somebody today, like the UK is building their own base out here. You know what I'm saying? And that's just how hip hop is. Like hip hop move around. Like it's in LA one moment, it's in Atlanta one moment, it's been in Virginia one moment. That's why you got the Pusha T's and the Pharrells, and it's been in Miami with the Fat Joes and the Rick Rosses. You know what I'm saying? So it just moves around, and I think right now it is kind of like moving around to London. But what's funny is like people in London, they don't see it that way though. You know what I'm saying? But I see it that way because I had a chance to see things on both sides of the fence. You know what I'm saying? But I'm seeing that.
I said, no, that's awesome. That if you see it coming that way, that means you kind of manipulate the situation and take advantage of it because you see it before everybody else. So hopefully, if that's true, then you're just going to be on top of it all, you know?
I mean, definitely. I mean, if you look at people like even Drake, who's one of the biggest rap artists in the world, he's done features with UK artists. He's rapping like a UK artist, doing drill music and all of that. So of course, it's intertwining right now. You know what I mean?
No, it's true though, because I DJ, and when a lot of I do a lot of house music and dance music and stuff like that, and most of the shit I get, I find it's coming from Europe or some part of Europe over there before it even touches the United States. And a lot of they don't pick it up on mainstream radio like top 40 or anything. Like you really don't get it unless you like listen to like XM or something like that, and you're really getting like really in tune to something particular type of music. And it could be months, it could be even years. I remember hearing like Calvin Harris back in the day before he even dropped over here in the United States, and it was probably a good year or two I was playing his music, and people were like, oh, what's that? I'm like, oh, it's this guy coming out of friggin' Europe. It's like it's so weird. It takes so long for it to come over, but I wonder if it's just because of like, I don't know, maybe United States record companies have this kind of niche, and they kind of have this model they have to fit, and everything has to be cookie cutted and stuff like that. And they don't really like to adventure out and experiment with anything new or take a chance. I think it's kind of like they like to stay like on their comfort zone and like, people they know. And unless someone's really giving big, a lot of turbulence out there or some, being well known, they don't want to even take a chance on it.
Yeah. Well, I think streaming just changed a lot of that. So, mainstream radio might be for whatever area that's for, but now with streaming, streaming is worldwide now, you know what I'm saying? So streaming definitely changed the game. So that's kind of like uniting everything as I see it, you feel me?
No, it's definitely changed everything. I remember there was a time, it felt like not that long ago, where it was believed that like if you wanted to make it in music, you had to come to the United States, and that's just not true anymore.
True, no.
It's not true at all.
And that's why I'm not in a rush to get back, because I can really do a lot from right here.
You be anywhere.
Right here, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is why I do everything. Like, this is why I made my albums. I mix and master my own albums, do everything in here, edit my own films, do everything right here, you know what I mean? And to go out to the world, you dig? So we definitely in a different place right now. And I'm from a different era. Like, I started way earlier. I started when it wasn't like this. I started when somebody really did need to do this for you and do that for you. But now you can do it for yourself. And really, and not with just music, just with life, period. Like, you can just be an entrepreneur in so many different ways, so many ways to get money, so many ways to link up and with different people all around the world now, even with just social media. Like, social media got a lot of negative things, but it's a lot of positive things too, to just connect with whoever you want to connect with, you know what I'm saying? So it's just different nowadays from how I was started, you know what I mean? So
I do wonder if like free services, where you can listen to music for free on say like Spotify, I understand like it helps with exposure, but does it help with sales? Like you would hope that one connects to the other, but at the same time, it's like, oh, well, if I can listen to that for free, why am I going to pay the money for it? But
I mean, really, that's one thing I've been trying to understand. I really don't even understand that. I don't even want to admit that on public radio, but I don't understand the sale aspect. Like, they say Drake sold 600 and something thousand records, and I'm like, but that's not all sales. They intertwine out with streams.
Yeah.
So nobody's buying CDs. Like, so I don't even understand it no more. But it ain't even about sales no more. It's about streams. We changing the S word from sales to streams. You know what I'm saying?
Contracts and
No, it's true. Because back in the day, remember you used to have to buy a fucking full album with like 12 songs on it, right? Now, and then sometimes they'd release the singles, right? And then you have like maybe 4, and they could keep statistics that way. But like when you say an album sale, like when I DJ, I'll go on like iTunes. I'll just pick and choose the songs I want. I don't download the full albums if I need it. You know what I mean? So how do they break that down and stuff? But like you said, the streaming thing's the key, because you used to have to go to a recording studio. You used to have some engineer that knew who he was doing. You had to do. Now all you do is pop up your laptop, and there's enough software and mixes and stuff and ways to do it yourself. You don't need anyone anymore but yourself. You could be in your room by yourself and create all the beats, create all the overtones, do the mixing, do the effects, put it on the internet, and send it out. Put it on iTunes, and you're done. You know,
I mean, that's what y'all doing right now. I mean, where y'all at right now? Y'all in y'all house doing the podcast, and y'all interviewing me in the UK. Like, right? So just, you know what I mean? Just do what you do. There's really no excuses nowadays, honestly, for anything you want to do. It just really putting your mind to it at this point. And it's just going to continue to advance, and technology going to continue to grow, and you got to grow with it, or you're going to be left behind, period.
Yeah. This was like ages ago. If we wanted to communicate, like we'd have to send a letter, and then it would get there, and then you'd write a letter, and then it would take about like 2 months back and forth in total. Oh, this is what's going on in the UK.
even like 2 years ago, if we wanted to do on the show, we'd have to get a fucking phone line in here. You would have to call a line, and especially from another country, you'd have to, you know what I mean? It wouldn't be as. I mean, it's unbelievable. I remember the first time we had a guest on the show. He was joining us from like Central America, right? And I was like, holy shit. I'm like, well, that's pretty impressive. Okay. I mean, we had people call in that we knew from back in the day and stuff from like around the country, but it wasn't anything like that. But it's like someone's joining us virtually with a video from like, 7,000, 8,000 miles away. It's just like, and we're used to the way we started was in the studio. We'd be in the studio. Adam and I would be facing each other. We'd have a guest come in. Our music guest would be in the mixer room and stuff. You know what I mean? And now it's just like, fucking, you don't need that shit anymore. We could be I could be in Florida. Adam could be in Antarctica.
It's true.
And here you are in London, and we just call it a day, and the show together. A few mixing, a little editing, and here you go. You done the good,
Indeed, brother, for sure.
So go ahead. Sorry.
I was just saying, I want y'all to get my album, man. Love Drug Volume 1 and Volume 2 is a very dope projects that I put together, and I'm dropping 2 more albums for the year, and Alone in London and Glitter Man. You know what I'm saying? I understand emo rap ain't for everybody, you dig? And then I'm following that up with Glitter Man, which is really what they want. I know that's what they want. They want that street shit, that trap shit. I'm gonna get it. Can I cuss on here? I know I can cuss.
You can do. Go for it.
Yeah. So look, that Glitter Man shit dropping in December. And before that, I'm dropping Alone in London. You know what I mean? But if is with the kill vibes, that get high with your female vibes, listen to Love Drug, and it might surprise you what may happen. I done seen some magical things happen while playing my album, man. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, and I can go into stories, but I don't know how much time we got. And magical shit about to happen right now. You know what I'm saying? But I'm pretty sure that this ain't an X-rated podcast, so I might have to, dip off before they get bored. You know what I'm saying? One leaving right now. You did.
Hey, one's already leaving.
Hey, I might be working on a second kid, so I might have to start streaming your music tonight to make sure this works right. So
it does work. Hey, look, money back guarantee, bro. You know what I'm saying? Money back guarantee, and it's free. So you know what I mean? Money back guarantee.
She's homegirl's behind you. She's like, "What's going on?" She's like, I like looking at guys like some guy
like froze up a little bit.
She's staring at us like she wants to like jump through the screen and like kill us. Yeah, I know. Yeah. Staring at us in the background.
Hanging out.
No, I'll definitely check it out. I listen to everything, man.
So tell everyone how you can get your stuff. Like, where are they gonna go? Where are we going to find your stuff?
Well, if you want to contact me directly, you can hit me up on Instagram. That's my name is Law. That's is with a Z. You know what I mean? And if you want to check out the music, man, it's everywhere. It's on Spotify, it's on Apple Music, it's on YouTube, so wherever you get music from.
Type in Law X and find your stuff.
You have any shows coming up?
Yeah. What's that?
Do you have any shows coming up?
So I just put together my band right now. So, that's what we're working on right now. We orchestrating our music. And one thing I like about my band is they want to perfect everything. I'd be like, this is good. Let's go to the next
That's
record.
awesome. Finding guys who care.
We need to do this 6 more days to make sure it's tight. And I'll be like, this shit done. Did you not hear this shit? And they be like, nah, we need to. So yeah, man, I got the perfect people. They the dopest band on the planet, man. And
that's awesome. When you can work together in any profession with people who actually give a shit and like actually want to make something better, it just makes it that much more awesome. That's awesome, dude.
Exactly. So that's what we're working on right now, and it's gonna be major for sure.
Cool.
Fuck,
yeah, so go on Instagram. My name is Law IZ. You get his websites right on there on his bio. You can click on there, get all the information you need to listen to your music.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for joining us tonight. It was awesome talking.
Man.
I know it's late over there. We appreciate you coming and join us.
Yeah,
you have a wild night, my friend.
Yeah. And if you come up to New England and you're up here, let us know, and we'll be more than happy.
Definitely.
Love to get you live. So
definitely, y'all take care. Y'all enjoy your rest of y'all Thursday night.
All right, man. Take care. Have a good one.
All right, brother.
I go dark. My screen went
dark.
Yeah,
you went dark for a second.
Where'd I go? Let's see.
You're there. You're I can hear you.
Hear me, right?
Yeah. You were too much to handle. Hey, you are.
I'm back.
Nice guy. Cool guy.
Law X. Check him out. My name is Law. Instead of IS, it's IZ. Check him out. We'll have him underneath the link. If you're watching this on YouTube or iTunes, his website will be on the link below. Check that out. Join us from South London, England. And I feel like I almost incriminated him, asking how many times he's been back and forth across the pond, if you will. So
it looked like he was about to go have some fun. You know what I'm saying?
He did not look like he's not going to have a good night.
Yeah, he looked like he was.
I mean, was they all chicks there?
Yeah,
it's all chicks.
It's all girls. All 3 chicks.
The lights down low. He said, and I'm not a member of the FDA, but I am only suggesting that perhaps if his music is playing in the background, you may be able to conceive. I think that's what he was implying.
Maybe. Yeah. There was that one chick who was like sitting there staring at the into the camera from far away. I thought she was gonna like knife me through the.
That should be. That would be nice in the show if you just started getting, there's like, she's like, yeah, just start getting it on.
Yeah, I mean, you'd get dropped from Facebook almost instantly.
With Facebook, I mean, Facebook sucks anyways, but just kidding, Facebook.
Did the people still use Periscope? Remember we used it that one time and people were commenting through like the whole episode?
We should probably try that. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, Periscope's still around, I think, right?
I don't know. I liked that feature, how like it would just pop up like that through the.
Well, I started using Periscope because a couple friends of mine were using it too. I think I told you they were doing drawings on Friday night on Periscope. Like they were just doing freehand drawings. They had this like apparatus to film what they were drawing.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I was like, oh, let me try it out. But there's a lot of fun. I guess I still have the app. I guess we could try it out. The only problem I have is Facebook makes things so we don't have enough viewers we don't have enough subscriptions on YouTube to go YouTube live. Because I think you need to make the minimum. You know what I mean? We're not even close to that. Well, but like Facebook and YouTube have the ability so you could do what we do through a mixer board, through a camera, through a multi, like almost like a different system. Because if we did it on Periscope, I don't think I would be able to get you through it unless there's a way I could feed this feed. I don't know.
I remember the one time I used Periscope was because I wanted to watch the Mayweather Conor McGregor fight. Yeah. And I wasn't going to pay. Remember that was ridiculous. It was the price. It was like $80.
Oh yeah. Someone had their camera set up on the TV, right?
That's why I'm sure some assholes are going to try to do it that way. So sure enough, I download Periscope and I'm flipping through and there were people a lot of feeds kept getting cut out like that, but there were a few that were able to keep it the whole fucking fight. I just watched it through Periscope.
I've done that with like football games on Sunday too. Like they'll stream like Facebook sometimes does that and they can get away with it for a little while, but I know they cut them off after a while. Like I know during the pandemic, I was doing like a DJing set and I was just playing music over Facebook through my mixer, through the board, through the camera and stuff. And I was just kind of doing, and like half hour into it, they would keep cutting me off because it was licensed material and stuff like that.
Well, people are idiots because like on Periscope, if you see those hearts, like when people like things, you can have those hearts flutter up. Well, it's like people would start writing like, stop doing that because it's going to attract attention. If all this like 900 hearts because people are liking what they see, what do you think is going to happen? The fucking feed's going to get cut, and that's what kept happening. Idiots.
But we'll find a way. Like I was telling you about like the NFL package, like to watch the games. There's websites out there that you could stream the games live free on the internet. You know what I mean? If you just dig deep enough, you can find it. I mean, anything's free on the internet.
You can find it. It might take a little work and you might get a virus doing it, but you can find it.
There was this one stream. I use a different one now, but the original one I used to use, it basically was, so overseas, there's like the military network for TV and stuff like this, basically. So like the people overseas, when they have their time off, they can log on and they can watch like, the Patriots game from friggin' Afghanistan, right? When we were over there or something. So this website actually was a middleman between the real feeds and the military network and was able to steal their feed and put it on the internet. So like on Sundays, you had all the football games for all the military bases that wanted to watch, the games. And because you've seen it before, like you'd be like, oh, like this troop is live from like Iraq. And then to be in a tent watching the football game, through a satellite feed sometimes.
Yes.
Basically it was like taking that feed and like just distributing it to everyone instead of them. But it's not as easy as it was back in the day where you just need like a scrambler and you can figure it out, but
you can still find a lot of shit. Not through Google. If you go to DuckDuckGo and start like typing things in like freetv.us.tc, stuff like that, you can still find stuff. You're going to risk your computer or whatever you're using getting a virus, but you can find it.
DuckDuckGo is great. I've been starting to use that more than Google. Google's just ridiculous, and they'll like what they call it, shadow ban stuff too.
Yeah.
That new term. I learned that term last week. But shadow ban, and apparently is when a corporation or something will ban or like hide your stuff without actually banning it altogether. So
you gotta look for it.
Yeah. And Google, who's DuckDuckGo owned by? They their own corporation?
Someone must. Let me see who owns.
Because most people know Google, most people know Yahoo, and those are like super liberal owned
California. Well, see, you're doing the tribalism thing. I don't like that, the whole liberal whatever. I always take information in, but don't process it as facts. Just you gotta always do it. Who runs that like core service? Oh god damn it. God, someone's asking if Google owns it.
Oh god,
that would be fucking.
That would be actually pretty good on Google's term. Like, yeah, fuck you. Yeah. So do you want the conservative views or do you want the open internet? Can you access Doc Web from DuckDuckGo?
Well, here's the thing. Yeah, you can. You have to download the torrent to actually get to the dark web through DuckDuckGo. I've used it. That's how you have to get there.
Do you think we should broadcast the show on the dark web?
It's fine. It sounds more sinister than it really is. Like it's really
they have electricity there, so there's light there, so it's not really dark.
So the thing is though,
I understand.
Google doesn't necessarily shadow, but it's more because that's what people are searching for because it's the popular thing. So DuckDuckGo does not show search results for content farms. It uses various API of other websites to show quick results to queries for traditional links.
So what does that mean? It means
partners. It's partnered with Bing.
Okay, which is owned by Microsoft.
Yeah. The company is based in Paoli, Pennsylvania, and has 136 employees as of August 2021, very recently.
So it's a Bing without. They don't. So it's instead of using an algorithm like Google would use, they just use most popular searches type of thing.
It just says traditional links is used to help of its partners, and then in parentheses, mainly Bing. It says, and its own crawler. I don't know what a crawler is.
Interesting. I mean, I know how search engines used to work back in the day, like when Yahoo. Remember Alta Vista, Yahoo, Excite,
Alta Vista, yeah.
And they were all based on. They had no algorithm. They were based on popularity of the website. So if you went to a particular website more often, that would, bring it up to the top of the list. And I remember. And you remember, you used to search. You go to Yahoo, search for something. You go to Alta Vista, you search for something. You go to Excite, you'd search for something, right?
Yeah.
What are the other ones? Oh, God, I have so many of them.
Net Zero.
Yeah, and then Ask Jeeves, right? You go to those ones, stuff like that. Remember that? Then it turned into Ask.com.
Yes. Okay. It's owned by Gabriel Weinberg, Jewish. And it just says owner, DuckDuckGo Inc.
It's not working today. It says it's a Jewish holiday.
Apparently.
Started at sundown, right? Rosh Hashanah? Is that what it's saying?
Is that what it is? I don't know. That might be.
Started fasting. Here on the Audio D4 show, we like to celebrate all religions and their holidays. So we make sure we make a point to tell you if our show falls in that holiday. So that means if so, they're fasting. I don't think they can use technology either, so they can't drive or anything after sunset. So that means they're watching the show. But that actually brings up a great point. This show is also available on demand anytime you like. So if you are celebrating a religious holiday and you can't watch us live, we suggest that maybe once the religious holiday is over and you do want to watch this show, you can go to various websites like YouTube, iTunes, Spotify, and stuff of that nature. Podbean, Facebook,
Well, interesting because the Jewish community have these wires that go up all around New York, and they're to it's like a fishing line. I don't know if you've ever seen them. They're in a lot of major cities, and they're very small, but it has to do with you should look at it. I should send you something on. I don't want to. It's called the Eruv, the ERUV. It's like an invisible boundary. But it's for the Jewish community, and it's like where business can and can't be conducted for their holidays.
And I've seen this before. Yes, I've this is something I've done. I haven't seen in person, but I've heard about this. Yes. Yeah, it's like you're putting up like caution tape, like on a crime scene. Like, you can't go over here, but you can go over here.
They're fucking everywhere. I've seen them before. I just didn't know what it was. I remember looking up one time, like, what the fuck is that? So it's like a fishing line.
It's not like when you drive through like Lynn or Lawrence and you see the shoes on the telephone. I found out what that was as a young kid with the shoes on the electrical wires.
Drug dealer? Yeah.
My mother had to tell me that. I go, Ma, why are people putting their perfectly good shoes up on the telephone lines?
Yeah, I mean, I always thought it was someone just to be funny, like getting rid of their old shoes.
I thought so too, and then there's a reason for it. But now I guess that's obsolete because now we have technology. I mean, this is before cell phones and text messaging and stuff like this,
Yeah.
Seems like a really investment to like ruin a pair of shoes. So like, and then like, how did that go down? Like, you just knock on the door and be like, "Hey, I seen the shoes out front."
Or do you just like hang out underneath them and wait for somebody to come to you?
Maybe.
Well,
wouldn't like cops know that's where drugs are being sold though?
Yeah. I would think, right? Yeah.
So secretive. This seems like on the DL, you know what I mean? Like,
there must be a new thing now. That must be like an early 90s thing. I wonder what it is now.
I mean, I've worked at the bar a few times where drug dealers would just sit there all night and then they did their transactions via text and then they'd go to the parking lot and do their thing and they wouldn't bother anyone. They'd just sit there and have a beer and watch the game and disappear every 15 minutes to do what they had to do.
I used to know people that would just change the color of their porch light.
Oh, that's interesting. Well, that goes for hookers too.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, the red light usually represents a prostitute of some sort there. And we found this out by the police when they saying, "Roxanne, you don't have to put on the red light."
It's the red light. Person later created the Red Roof Inn.
Well, funny you say that. Not the Red Roof Inn, but the old Colony Inn. County, what the fuck was it called? It was up in Peabody. Now it's a garbage facility plant, but it was a motel. I feel it was like the old Colony Hotel, and it was like a motel. And when we were in college, we went driving one day, and someone I know was like, "Hey, I think this hooker's working here." And I'm like, "How do you know?" I'm like, "Well, I read it on the back of." Do you remember not AAF, WFNX had the Phoenix newspaper that came out all the time? And on the back, there was the adult Phoenix where they had the escorts and stuff like this.
Yes, I do remember that.
So one of my buddies called up one of the escorts and it said Peabody. And they're like, "Oh, where you located?" And like, it was like not the town line. And it was like the old Colony Inn or whatever like that. I got to Google what the name of it was. And we're like, "Oh, okay." And like, when you get into the parking lot, give us a call. So I'm like, "What the fuck?" I go, "Well, how do you know where to go?" So we're driving around and there was like all these motels they replaced the light bulbs with red lights. And then we looked into it and you realize if the red light's off, that means they're in business, but it's like a vacancy.
Yes.
When the red light's on, that means, I mean, we didn't venture into because, I mean, what we're we going to do? Chip in, 3 of us for a hand job? You know, we probably had $150 between the 3 of us. I'm like, that's going to go real far.
Everybody gets 2 strokes each.
Yeah. It's like, how do you yeah, exactly. By time or stroking, because either way, it's not going to work very much.
Yeah.
But if you go to, I was in, in France. I went to what the hell is it called? The not the red light district, but it's called the like the Moulin Rouge is there and stuff like that. It's like where all that shit's legal and stuff. You know what I mean? I forget the hell is it called. The sex area in Paris. You could probably Google and find out what it was called.
Yeah.
We got off the train. We walked around there, and you walk into these places, and there's like menus. It's like legal prostitution, I guess.
The Montmartre district.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah, it was weird. I guess they called it the red light district when we were there too. I guess I don't know, but yeah, I mean it's Europe though. We should have asked our boy LRX because he would have told us that at Europe is more laid back on that shit. You know what I mean?
It is.
You know, not so uptight. The conservatives don't like that. No. Sex, but
which you are. You're a conservative with also some. Liberal,
I'm like more of a libertarian, I believe.
I don't know. You in the office. You seem extremely conservative. So you start spouting off about things sometimes. I'm like,
but I'm like, I think people should be able to do drugs, like legal stuff like that. I think you should be able to.
Yeah, prostitution is regulated.
Prostitution, the abortion thing. I'm open to regulations and stuff and situations. I don't like taxes.
Yeah, I'm more conservative.
I'm not super religious. But I'm like, I'd say I'm over moderate. I'm in the middle. I mean, I feel like that's most of the people in the country. If you polled most of the people in this country, there are very few people who are far left and far right. Most people are in the middle. Most people are able to compromise and be like adults, right?
Yeah.
Like if there was a candidate that was like in the middle, and people were like, yeah, this is but it'll never happen because they're so fixed on these two parties, right? What you really need is a third party, and it's someone in the middle of both sides, and that's the person that would win every time because everyone, I feel like 70% of this country is just like you and I. They're in the middle. We could find a common ground to agree on some point or another. You know what I mean? Whether it's on 100% agreeable, but you could meet in the middle.
Yeah, the framework is there.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's not the way it's set up to be. It's either set up for extreme one way or the other way. And then sometimes, and I mean, just look at the polls. When 50% of the country goes one way and 50% goes the other way,
it's true.
It's a country divided. It's very tough to cross that bridge.
It's very true.
And the only two solutions are develop a third party that's somewhat a little bit of column A, a little bit of column B, and go from there, which will never happen because they like the power in the swamp, or just split up, become two different countries. And every state, like I said, every state has a ballot, and you vote. Do you want to succeed and become your own country, or do you not? And if you vote yes on question one, yes, I want to succeed and become my own country. And then the second question is what you have two choices. What side do you want to go to? And then you answer accordingly. And if the majority of question one wins, then it goes to question two, and the states break up and they call it a day. You split the money, and then you basically go, all right, we're just starting from scratch. And then you just develop a whole new government system. I mean, it's as simple as that. I mean, in reality, it will be almost an even split. You would see like the whole southeast will break off, right? And then it would break off and then go up north into like the Midwest, right? So you'd have this weird. I think the blue would be kind of divided. You would have to go through one. You would have to go over the red to get to the blue.
Yeah, I could wrap my head around this all night.
Yeah,
I agree with you though.
But then maybe there's three different countries because I think East Coast liberal people are a lot different than West Coast liberal people, right? So maybe there's a whole divide there. Maybe there's three different countries. I don't know. And where's Hawaii go?
I don't know, man. I don't know.
It's wild.
It is wild.
That's the things we think about.
It is.
That's the things you should think about. After you click yes, click yes. Hit the thumbs up button if you're watching this on YouTube. Leave a comment for the algorithm so we get brought up.
Please do, everybody. Yes.
And subscribe to the Whirlwind Potato.
Check it out. Yeah, it's just kind of hanging out there for now.
Yeah.
Back at some point. Don't know when. I'll just drop one on you. I won't even tease it. It'll just be out there.
I'm looking forward to Bob from Blockbuster. Brett.
Blockbuster Brett.
Blockbuster Brett needs to come back. Make a comeback tour. But all you guys watching us on a YouTube live tonight, Facebook live tonight, thank you. If you're watching on YouTube, appreciate that. Subscribe, leave a comment, iTunes, Spotify, all that stuff. Until next week, y'all have a good week, and we'll see you later. See you later, motherfuckers. Bye.
Peace out, motherfucker.